Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where you can see I have a Marvel Legends Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man, and this is a personal grail of mine. I have always wanted this figure. I've always wanted a comic book Miles because that is my favorite look for Miles. It's just superior than the Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. I'm sorry to tell you, it's superior in my opinion. I way prefer this look. So, yeah, let's get into it. So this figure probably originally retailed for like $25 or something. Like, no, probably less because Marvel Legends have shot up in price. This would have been a cheaper figure. So I got this for $30, which is like the price of a normal, almost the price of a normal Marvel Legend. That's the price of the Gamerverse Miles. And this guy comes with almost as much, I think. So, and he's really cool. I mean, this is my favorite look for Miles, and I'd much rather spend $30 on this than, what, $200 on the Mafex. Although I do want that Mafex, because I want an ultra articulated Miles besides the Into the Spider-Verse one. I want a comic book one very badly, but this guy will hold me over until I pick up something like that. And I really hope Marvel Legends, Hasbro, re-releases like this guy and like a better paint or something, like brighter paint maybe, because this figure is really, I like this figure a lot, especially for the age. If they put it on a new buck, like made it like more like, maybe if they put it on the Amazing Fantasy buck or something like that, that'd be cool. I mean, he's a little bit taller than Miles, but I think that would work because it's more articulated and it just is a better buck than this one. But, this one's not bad. You can put this in with your New Warriors or whatever you want to put him in with. But yeah, this guy's awesome. So, out of the package, he comes with a fist and a web, slinging hand, flip hand. And then in the package, you get, let me just pull this out. You get wall crawling hands. And the reason I laugh is because this wall crawling hand looks normal, but this one has been in the package so long it looks like his fingers got broken. So I'll have to heat that up and fix that. But he comes with two of those, and then he comes with an opposite fist and an opposite flip hand. So you get a pair of fists and a pair of flips. And I'll just pull those out too, just to have them. And this one's a little bright, compared to that one, so that's not great, but it's not the worst deal. And then you get another flip. And then last but not least, you get, if I could pull it out. Okay. You get a unmasked Miles Morales head, and to put that on, you obviously just pull the head off, and just pop that on, and that looks good. Now this is my Miles. I was reading Miles comics when they came out. A lot of people don't like them, but for me, I was like, that was 2013. I was young when they came out. Like, I would have been like 11. No, they came out in 2011, so I would have been like 9 when I was reading them. So, yeah, I was young reading this, and I didn't care about the quality. I just cared it was a cool character that I liked. I was reading these around the time I was also reading the Clone Saga, because our library had a very awesome amount of comic books when they came out, when they were actually being released, so that was really cool. But, yeah, this guy's awesome, and he'll definitely be going on the shelf. He won't be replacing my Sentinel Toys Miles. Well, he kind of will be, because I prefer comic book Miles over Into the Spider-Verse Miles, This guy's shorter, but this guy, I just prefer him because it's my favorite look for Miles, and yeah. So, for articulation, we'll go over it. So, he can't get his arms any lower than that, which sucks. That does suck. So, he's not as articulated as the Sentinel, but I prefer the look, and I'm less scared of breaking this guy than the Sentinel. This guy is like, he's really loose sometimes, and then like the fists are really the problem. Like pulling out the hands on this guy can really scare me. So this guy's going to be put through the paces more. So the arms can go up to there, you know. You can spin it around. You got a double joint. And then you got a hinge at the wrist. And then you got a hinge at the neck. Get that much look up. You can get that much look down, which isn't great. But it's not terrible for an old Marvel Legend. Not really any tilt. You can look left to right, obviously. And then you get ab crunch in that much, which is very good. That is very good. And then you can arch back that much, which is not very good. Well, it's not bad, though. It's about as much as the Renew Your Vows body, right? Okay, not as much, but it's still good. That's good for an old Marvel Legends, I will say. I was expecting this to be a lot less articulated than it is, and I'm pleasantly surprised. And then you can actually turn right there at the waist. Then you can kick out that far, which is not great, admittedly, but I'm not gonna really have him in too many kicks like that. You have a thigh swivel. You have a double jointed knee. You can actually kick your own butt. Then you have a swivel at the thigh, upper thigh, and then you have a hinge at the foot, and then got a little pin rocker. You can't hinge that far on it, which sucks, but I will live with it because this is an old Marvel Legends, and I think he's very articulated for what he is. And, that's not an excuse. Like, he should be more articulated, but this is like, what? I don't even know when this was released. This was released some years ago. And he did come with a Space Venom, Agent Venom piece, but that's why I got this guy so cheap, is because he didn't actually come with it. Like, he came with it originally, but there was no piece for him in the packaging. That's why I got this guy so cheap, which I'm cool with. I don't plan on building that Space Agent Venom. I plan on getting a better Agent Venom figure eventually, because Agent Venom is my favorite version of Venom. But for size comparisons, we will get him in there. We'll have him like that. Okay. Try to stand him as straight up as possible. And we will start off with I'll just show off like some of these figures. Here's a Toy Biz Spidey and then a Lego Spidey. We'll put him back there a little bit more. Toy Biz, Lego, just for fun. And then these are the comparisons I'm more excited to do. So, two more Marvel Legends. You got the Renew Your Vows Spidey, and this head would work a lot better. Like, if you wanted to do a Peter and Miles team up, put that back on the Renew Your Vows, and they would look more, in line, because if you compare the heads, they both have really wide eyes. But I really like this. I like this a lot. Miles looks like 13 here, like a tall 13-year-old, but he looks 13, so I really like that. And I will be doing a lot of team-ups with these guys. And then next we have my favorite Wolverine, and Miles is about the same size as Wolverine, just smaller, like bulk-wise, so that's cool. And we got the black suit black suit Spidey, and yeah, they look cool together. He's almost as tall as the Spidey, but it's a Mayfex, so of course he's going to be stack up a little bit better. And then we've got the Mezco X-Force Deadpool, because I like these guys together. Okay, and then they knocked over. That's awesome. Okay, I'll get him stood back up. And then I'm just gonna I will do this. We got the Mayfex Nightwing, and then I'll do the Batman just to show it off, because I like these figures, and I wanted to start doing DC Marvel crossover stuff, because DC Marvel stuff is cool, especially Batman and Spider-Man. So I could do like a Batman and Peter, and then a Miles and Nightwing. I couldn't think of his name. Damn. My favorite character, and I couldn't think of his name. That's crazy. And then next we have... Get rid of him. Next we have the Sentinel Toys Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales. And I don't have a Gwen to compare him to yet, but I will eventually. I don't know if it'll be Sentinel or Mafex or what. I'm buying a Marvel Legend first, just like the old comic book Gwen, because that's what I want with this. I'm a comic book guy through and through. As much as I love the movies, I'm a comic book guy. And then we have the Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man. This is probably like a set. This would be, in terms of scale, he'd be like 13. He'd be like 17 maybe. And he'd be like way younger than 13. And then next we'll do 2 more Spideys. We've got the Mafex, and then we got the Superior Mafex. We have my favorite look for Spider-Man, and tied with this look for Spider-Man. Those are my 2 favorite looks, and yeah, well, but yeah, they look great together too. And then we have Miles' personal hero, Captain America. We can get those 2 on a team up together, and then we have one of his friends, Gwen, not Spider-Gwen, but Gwenpool. And yeah, these guys look awesome. So these guys are. This guy's great. He looks great with the hat or with the mask on, and he looks great without the mask. Personally, I will mostly always be using the mask. It just looks so amazing. I just love this look for Miles so much. Because that was the first time when I really was getting into comics. That's probably why I love Miles and Ben so much, because I was reading comics no, I wasn't reading comics in the 90s, but that's the comics I started off with, aside from Batman and stuff. But I started off with these and X-Men, Jim Lee X-Men, because like I said, our library had some awesome comics in them, and they were part of it, and I was always checking out comic books and reading them, so that's probably why I prefer comic books over manga, because I actually grew up with comic books. I read some manga and I watched anime, but comics were my bread and butter, and they still are. I love comics, and Miles is part of that love. I love Miles. Maybe he was a bit of a Peter Parker clone at first, but I didn't know that. I wasn't really reading Peter Parker. I mean, I read some Peter Parker, but I was heavy into reading Miles when they were releasing. And yeah, and I was heavy into reading the Clone Saga too, so I read some Onslaught, I read some of everything. I loved comics, and I still do. So this guy is very nostalgic for me. That's probably why I recommend, if you don't have this guy, to try to pick him up, or a version of him. I don't know, maybe even pick up the Into the Spider-Verse repaint, 2-pack with Gwen. Those aren't as good as this guy, but if that's the only one you can find, I recommend it, because it's just it's Miles. You should have a Miles on your shelf if you're a Spider-Man fan, if you're a true Spider-Man fan, because guess what? Yeah, Miles is Spider-Man. You can be upset with that, but Miles is Spider-Man. It's a mantle, and he's taking it up. So yeah, I love this Spidey, and he will definitely be getting some play today. I will be playing with him all day. Be making him fight Ben and Peter for training, or what have you. Yeah. Oh, I should have compared him to the Prowler. I will do that next time. I will just do something. I mean, I only have the comic book Prowler, but I should have compared him to the Prowler. I just didn't have that out at the time. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Oh, I didn't even show off the back of the paint. Show you that off. That is one of my problems with it, is there's some scuffage, in places, it doesn't look, it's not as clean as it could be, but for back then, I think it's pretty clean. And, I mean, it should be perfect paint for the amount of paint they have to put on it, because they didn't have to put any on the lower half. But I still really like him. And he works wonders with this Peter. Looks so good. And even this Ben. There you go. I'll do a thumbnail with these guys. But thanks for watching, guys. Bye.